All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to connect the dots on what's happening in the Cardano ecosystem. You see all these different updates, but when you put them all together, you start to see a much bigger picture, some real momentum building up. And that's what we're digging into.
So let's just jump right in, because this was huge. Charles Hoskinson drops this bombshell. Stablecoin staking is coming. And look, this isn't just some small update. This is a big deal. It kind of signals a whole new chapter for the network.
So that one announcement really sets the stage. Let's start at the top, right? We're going to look at two really ambitious big picture ideas that show you where Cardano's trying to go.
So what is stablecoin staking really? Well, it's pretty simple. For the first time, you'll be able to earn rewards on your stablecoins right inside Cardano. So you get that yield, that return, but you don't have to worry about all the crazy price swings you get with other crypto. It's a huge new utility for anyone holding ADA.
But okay, that's just one part of the story. The vision gets way bigger than just that. There's another massive project being built, and this one's designed to take Cardano's mission way beyond just crypto, and it's called RealFi.
Right, RealFi. And the mission here is, well, it's huge. We're talking about using Cardano's tech to build a real blueprint for financial access across the globe. The whole idea is to give people who've been completely shut out of the old-school banking system a real economic identity and actual financial tools.
Okay, so you've got these big, ambitious goals, but how do you actually make them happen? Well, you need an engine, right? And for Cardano, that engine is really starting to roar in the DeFi space.
And if you want to see what I mean, just look at what's happening on the ground. We can take one project, Strike Finance, as a perfect example. The numbers they're putting up are pretty wild, and they really tell the story of what's going on.
Get this, they are consistently handling over 70%, 70 of all the daily trading volume on Cardano. I mean, that's not just a big number, that's dominance. It shows you just how much activity is flowing through their platform.
And it's not just empty volume. They have the liquidity to back it up. We're talking around $800,000 available for trades. And to put that in perspective, just the Strike and ADA pair, just that one pair, has over 3.4 million ADA in it. That's some serious depth.
So what does all that mean for you, the user? Well, it means yield. Real yield. Right now, if you provide liquidity to these pairs on a platform like MinSwap, you're looking at a 25% APR. That's the engine we were talking about, working right there.
All right, so this kind of growth, it doesn't just happen by magic. It's being fueled by some really deep foundational tech improvements that are making the whole chain smarter and way more flexible for everybody.
Let's take Indigo Protocol as an example. They've got this V3 upgrade coming, and it has something called multi-asset collateral. Now that sounds complicated, but all it really means is that instead of being stuck using just one asset to borrow against, you can now use a whole bunch of different Cardano tokens.
Okay, multi-asset collateral. It's a mouthful, I know. So what does that actually do for someone who's just trying to use DeFi on Cardano? What's the bottom line?
Well, for starters, it gives you way more flexibility. You can use the assets you actually have. It's also great for managing risk, right? Because you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. And maybe the coolest part? It opens the door to totally new DeFi strategies. Because now all these different protocols can play together much more easily. And speaking of making things easier and more flexible, this brings us to what might be the next big leap. There's this project called Pondora, and they're introducing a concept called intents. Think of it like this. The old way, you have to give the computer step-by-step instructions. The new way, you just tell it the end result you want, and you let it figure out the best way to get there.
And honestly, this is a game changer. It lets you run these really complex automated strategies completely on-chain. It takes you, the user, from just clicking buttons to actually setting up your own automated strategies, like your own little market-making bot. And you can do it all securely from a hardware wallet, which is awesome.
Okay, so we've got this amazing new tech being built. Let's pull the camera back a bit and see what this actually looks like on the ground. Because all this tech is translating into real people, real ownership, and real rewards. Yeah, we're definitely seeing this trend, a push towards public-first token designs. You look at a project like Surge, and they're really leading the charge here. A whopping 79% of their total supply is already out there in the hands of the public.
And it's so important to understand, this isn't just about handing out tokens. It's about real ownership. In their model, that's it. No more new tokens are going to be created. 100% of the money the protocol makes goes straight back to the people holding the tokens, and they are the ones making the big decisions. That's real decentralization.
You see this same theme of direct ownership with World Mobile too. They make it super simple for the people who actually run the network to get paid. There's no jumping through hoops. You help the network, you claim your rewards. Simple as that.
And what happens when you focus on the user like this? You get real growth. I mean, look at Wisdom, the educational platform. They just crossed a huge milestone. 10,000 users have signed up.
And look, 10,000 users is a big deal for any project, but it's especially important here because it just smashes that old tired narrative. You remember, people used to call Cardano a ghost chain. Well, ghost chains don't have projects with 10,000 users. This shows there's a real active community building here.
So when you step back and look at everything we've talked about, the big vision from the top, the foundational tech being built, the DeFi engine that's roaring to life, and the actual user growth, you see it, right? It's all connected. These pieces aren't being built in silos. They're starting to work together and create some serious momentum. So we're getting a pretty clear idea of how it's all building. The really exciting question is, what's next? What is all this new technology actually going to make possible?